items on the agenda tonight. If there's anything you'd like me to expand upon, I'll be glad to do that.
Very well. Questions from the board? Solicitor's report.
So we filed in the twin South Point cases. These were the two validity challenges related to the South Point Golf Course and South Point Medical Associates. We just filed last week the brief for the validity challenge in the second case. Oral argument should take place over the next month or two, but the bulk of the work is now done on those cases. They're just oral argument and then a decision from the judge. We also finalized the Montreux Trail Council and Cecil Township easement related to the McConnell Trails bridge dedication. So that's now done, and I know that took a little time, but we've come to terms with the other side, so we just need to decide now whether we're going to execute now or do like a spring easement, but it might make sense just to get everyone to sign now, and then we'll wait for the appropriate time to actually file it and dedicate. Other than that, just answering legal questions and consultation as needed.
Okay. Any questions to Gretchen? Next, Board of the Supervisors, or Sean, I'm sorry. Chief, do you have anything? All right. Board of Supervisors, discussion new business. Anything from the supervisors? Discussion of old business?
No, I mean, I had already mentioned it during the bridge update. Supervisor Dizio and Supervisor Clear and I have been working on those grants for the bridges. I've been writing away, so hopefully we'll get that submitted and get some money for Cecil. We'll see. We won't know if we're even being considered until the fall, is at least what I understand.
Thank you. Citizens' general comments and questions? Anything? Yes, please step to the microphone. One at a time or start a line.
If I can bring something up first.
Pardon me?
There's a lot of people complaining about County Line Road. It is terrible. As soon as weather permits, Bill's going to get out there and do some strip paving and throttle patching. There's nothing we can really do about it. I mean, the other roads are closed.
Okay.
Excuse me, Ronnie. Excuse me. Why can't the Turnpike Commission fix that road, being that they're bringing the big trucks in on that County Line Road? Why can't they fix it, being it's so bad? I mean,
Didn't you meet with them?
pardon me?
I did meet with them, and they placed a bond on that road.
Yeah, but it's,
They won't fix it.
And Morgan Road.
Right.
they won't fix it because it was bad in the condition that it was bad before they started driving.
Realize that, but
Yeah.
there's 10 times more traffic on that road, and there's big trucks on that road now.
So we had a conference call with Representative Ortite about that. Don Januso, Bill and I did. And he basically said that they are telling him that they are not driving on that road, which we said, okay, sure. So we told him that he needed to go back to the Turnpike Commission, which he agreed, and say, you are utilizing it, even though you're saying you're not. But unfortunately, as a township, we can't force the Turnpike. Just in the same way we can't force PennDOT, we can't force the Turnpike.
Well, those big trucks, they're coming down Cecil, Hendersonville Road, they're making a left onto Morgan, and they're going up to County Line Road and or wherever they're taking their load down Morgan Road past the cemetery of the Alleghenies.
They're following the posted detour route. That is the posted detour route. A lot of the trucks that we're seeing on the road aren't related to the actual work activity that's going on with the turnpike. That just happens to be the posted detour route for that work.
Hold on to your seat, Darlene. I agree with you.
So if they're bonded, aren't they supposed to fix that road then?
They only have to bring it to the condition that it is right now. So when they bonded it for the work on Morgan Road.
On Morgan and County Line.
Yeah,
And County Line.
Yeah, so, but it's
Okay.
it's $12,500 per mile.
And Renato was able to get them to post for a fraction thereof. One's 1.1 and I think the other one is 1.2, so they posted a $25,000 bond for each.
Which, let's face it, $25,000 to repair a mile.
And that road is not wide enough for two people to be, or two cars, let alone a truck and a car.
I was talking to them yesterday. Walsh's contract didn't start yet, but they're going to be there for 3 years. So that road's going to be like that for 3 years.
All right, good. Young lady at the microphone, state your name and address.
My name's Jessica Dean. I live at 16 Crestwood. not usually here, so I'm not sure how much information has been given out. What is happening behind the youth elementary? There's some sort of
Can you hold the microphones?
Yeah, that's fine. Is that better? The site behind Youth Elementary is being used for development. I believe it's a lot. It's an ABB property. There were installments underneath. Has that been approved? I'm just concerned with what's in the ground. I have one that's at Youth Elementary and another child that is in the middle school. So I'm kind of concerned of where all that is going. And
Very well. Thank you for your question. And in fact, I asked Dan to look into that. It wasn't approved. We have a sales agreement that is in place as of, was it November of 2017? But Dan, could you give us any updates or?
Sure.
Could you hand the microphone again, please?
oh, sure.
So everyone can hear? Thank you.
The ABB property, as it's known now, was an industrial site that was abandoned back in the 1980s. It's just outside of use. That particular site is now owned by a company called ABB, a large industrial contractor throughout the United States. They have properties. The township has been looking for a township public works building site, and this site was identified as a possible candidate. The township has been working with ABB, the DEP, and its own environmental consultant, American Geosciences, and an environmental attorney, Tucker Ahrensberg, who are representing the township. The site itself has been, and I'm reading from an email from Dave Clary, who's the environmental engineer representing the township on this. I want to qualify that I'm not an environmental engineer. What I'm reading is what's happened on the site so far. So the site itself has been well characterized with extensive work by both ABB and AGI, which is our consultant, the township's consultant. The identified impacts to groundwater and surface water are very manageable and typical of industrial sites. All identified impacts can be managed according to well-understood processes. ABB has conducted extensive site remediation with considerable impacted soils removed and disposed of. ABB has also removed and disposed numerous drums and tanks from the property. All of this work was under the review and approval of the PA-DEP, the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. The DEP has been involved in various activities conducted by ABB and has expressed no concerns with the results of the various site remediation characterization activities. In addition, Cecil Township, the environmental consultant who represents the township, ABB, and the attorneys met with the DEP regarding the proposed path forward implemented by Cecil. The DEP was provided considerable detail on the current path forward for the site remediation and had no comments or proposed modifications. There are several reports of buried drums and or radioactive waste being disposed of on the property. However, no data has been identified that supports these claims. Further, even if they are true, addressing them would be no different than what is necessary to address a normal Act 2 site. Previously unidentified impacts can be managed or can be encountered during site development and are managed so as to minimize site development. Typically, a soil management plan is developed as a part of an Act 2 process to lay out a framework for addressing these issues. Metal impacts, i.e. arsenic, are ubiquitous to surface soils in western Pennsylvania. Virtually all urbanized surface soils are impacted by arsenic above the applicable DEP standard. Addressing these impacts is very straightforward and involves either excavation with off-site disposal or placing covered material, parking lots or building or clean soil over the impacted material. Numerous commercial, industrial sites are redeveloped with extensive surface soil impacts being present and addressed using standard erosion and sedimentation controls designed to minimize particulates, e.g. wetting the soil before disturbing it, conducting the work during early summer or fall before it dries out. We have been involved with literally hundreds of similar sites. Typical examples include the Pittsburgh Technology Center, Bakery Square, Almona, and Hazelwood, and the JNL Southside Works, etc. So that's the summary of what the environmental consultant has done in terms of work on the site. The current state of the site is that we're waiting for, the township has made application for a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Mining that actually works with communities to address old bony piles, which is the coal refuse that sits on that site. Currently, that grant application is being reviewed, and we're waiting on that response, which would provide a substantial amount of money to take care of addressing the cleanup of that site, essentially is where it is. So that's where it stands. So there's no work taking place right now other than just sitting and waiting for the grant application.
With all due respect, I'm very familiar with what's been going on, and you lost me about halfway through that.
Amen.
So, and I know you're trying to just read from there, but I think if you really want to answer her question, maybe don't read from there and just kind of explain in a more simpler way.
My concern is that everything goes great, fine, I understand it's a great price, it would be a nice location for public works, but there's unknown substances, radioactive, and you have hundreds of children, let alone the residents, and there has been some sort of odd spike in cancer in Kennebec, so I don't know what that is cause for, if that's a fluke, it seems a little higher, but I don't think it's worth the risk.
So Jessica, I agree, and that's the reason that we moved on doing this and having this tested and having remediation happen. We were able to test the water and the fluids coming down as well. And I know, Dan, it sounds as though you read that because that was the environmental expert's report and you're yielding to his expertise. But when we signed this agreement, we were looking for a back entrance to the school as well at the same time. And the idea that the board voted was to have this done and to investigate this property because it is right next to the school. So we want it to be investigated, we want it to be tested. I have two nephews at Gerkman's that have children there. My daughter taught there as a teacher. So we want this cleaned up in our community. The fact that XYZ company cannot go and have this kind of services done, it can only be done because we are a government entity. So we can get those dollars available from the state. I would like to see this process work out, and we could use that same template again for all the other slate dumps and slag dumps throughout Cecil Township. And we should be doing this again and again. I disagree with the board or those that said, no, let's leave it alone, let's do nothing. Well, if we do nothing, it's going to sit there for 30, 50 years, 100 years. So I believe this is the correct step that we need to be taking and not to do nothing. We must see what's there, find out what's there. If the DEP and EPA says, hey, this is the way to resolve the issue, this is not Brown property, we can then get a back street that goes to Muse Elementary School. Maybe more hazardous. So one of the other supervisors pointed out, yeah, we got to address the slag dumps as well. When it rains, some of that rainwater could wash down and into the streams and be affecting our streams as well. So the three supervisors decided, yes, we must do this, we must continue, and let's have it investigated so that we could correct the problem.
Okay, you said your piece, now let's tell the others.